Live, Laugh, Larceny discusses true petty crimes that may be disturbing to some.
Or could be easy listening to all you psychopaths out there.
All stories are based on actual events, but details may vary.
Listener discretion is not advised.
Live,
Laugh.
Larceny. Welcome to Live, Laugh, Larceny, the boiled hot dogs of true crime podcasts. This is Trevin.
And I'm Amanda. Oh my God. So this isn't my dreadful dilemma, but your intro just reminded me that I tried vegetarian hot dogs last night and they were freaking disgusting.
That sounds awful.
But moving on.
Is it made of like plant intestines?
I don't know. It said it was plant-based, whatever the hell that means. I don't even know what was in them, but it was not right.
Yeah, it sounds wrong.
I like veggie burgers. I love, but they have not perfected the veggie hot dog.
I believe that.
So, Trevin, what's your dreadful dilemma this week?
So my dreadful dilemma took place last week. I got an email that said, hey, you haven't given us the good blood in a while. And I thought, I should probably jump on that. They said, I'll give you $600 if you come and give me a month's worth of plasma. And I thought, I've been kind of holding off because I thought they were lowballing me for a while.
Yeah.
Which I guess it's part of their system is once you've gone like 2 months without showing up and they're like, wait, we want you to come back. So they offer you more. And if you wait even longer, they'll offer you a little bit more.
Ooh.
So I told Emily, I said, now's the time. I think I can do this. But a part of me was also like, we just recently started doing videos. And so that's actually taking a little bit more of my time up.
Yeah.
And, we've got Halloween and just all these different things. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to commit to twice a week for a month.
Yeah.
But I'll do it. For the $600, that sounds fun.
Yeah. Christmas is coming.
So I went in there and they pricked my finger and they did the little tests. And the girl was like, oh, you can't give it today. And I'm like, why for?
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
She said my hematocrit numbers percentage was too high, which is like the percentage of oxygen and something else in the blood. And so that sent me spiraling.
Oh God, I can see it now.
I'm always big about being healthy and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
In my whole life, every time I go and do my yearly checkup to get my lower insurance amount, I'm always like, great, I feel so much more fat this year. Like, they're going to check me out and say, how are you still alive, you disgusting fool?
Oh my God, Trevor.
And so I always get in there really scared. And then my doctor comes up to me and says, you're really healthy. You're doing really good. And so then I use that as a marker to say, oh my gosh, I'm not totally failing at life. I guess I can maintain a body somewhat.
I'm just doing this whole life thing right.
But when they told me that I wasn't healthy enough that day to give blood, that was just like...
You could not process
every
it?
negative thing I had ever told myself about the way I take care of myself had been... Even all the times before where they said you've done good, it's just like, you know what? For the last 32 years, I have dropped the ball. I have lost it. And I was bad. Emily was trying to talk to me, and I would just be like, oh, whatever. If I can even lift myself up from this chair tonight, like I'm such a mess. Like I just don't know what's wrong with me. And so I guess the hematocrit numbers can be because you're dehydrated, which I drink a lot of water, but
yeah,
I maybe have had a bit of a relaxing day of drinking that day. I don't know. And so they said, you can come back tomorrow. And I'm like, whatever, I'll do it. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll fucking show you.
Oh, God.
So I went back the next day.
Were you just chugging water all night?
I was chugging water all day. So I went in there and I passed the hematocrit thing. They were just like, okay, next step. And then the girl goes, do you have an athletic pulse? And I was like, well, I guess I am an athlete. I work out a lot. And so she said, oh, let me talk to my coworker here. I'm kind of new. So your pulse can't be under 50 beats per minute. And I was at 49. And so I wasn't going to be pushy about it, but they were like, you have to be at 50%. So they had me go talk to the nurse. The nurse checked my pulse and I was at 48. So it went down a little bit. And she's like, oh, you can't.
You
can
were
come.
slowly dying in their office?
Well, it's normal for a more athletic person who works out a lot to have a lower resting heart rate. Because your body will have a higher heart rate variability from like when you're working out, your heart's beating really fast.
Yeah.
But to when you're at rest, your body's like, I can really relax because I'm cool.
So my heart rate would be sky high, probably.
Your heart rate at rest, you probably haven't like trained your heart and done a lot of cardiovascular stuff. So there's less of a change between you working out and you at rest.
Yeah.
But for me, when I'm at rest, it's very low. And it's not a humble brag or anything.
Yeah, you're like, I am so athletic that my heart barely beats.
I had to hold myself from spiraling again.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait a minute. There's no way all the times before I didn't also have a low heart rate. So I thought, is it because she's looking at me and thinking, this guy's obviously not athletic? There's something wrong with him. So then I was trying to keep myself from spiraling there.
Yeah.
But then eventually I was like, you know what? No, this is stupid. I check my heart rate, my Whoop watch I have on all the time.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm laying in bed, my heart rate is super low all the time. So the lady was just like, oh, when you come back, just, pace a little bit before you come up to get checked. I'm like, how about you guys just believe me?
Or that, yeah.
So I actually never went back.
Oh, you didn't?
I said I'm done because I was already like on the fence about committing.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I will let it build up, and first thing in next year, I'll just go get the fat check because I just wasn't ready. A part of me didn't want to commit to it, and that was just a sign for me. I said no.
Yeah, you've already driven out there twice for them to tell you that you're not ready for
I'm
this.
not pure enough for them.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Wow, that's crazy though. I didn't know that whole thing about the resting heart rate.
Oh yeah.
Well, I also have a dreadful dilemma, Trevin. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but my dilemma is that I can't stop cooking bacon without a shirt on.
Oh. Okay.
And it's really dreadful because I keep getting burns from this. Clearly, it's smart to wear a shirt when you are cooking something that has grease, right?
Correct.
I don't know what is wrong with me, but I just get so hot when I cook bacon. I don't want to wear a shirt. I need a solution here. Maybe it's just that I need to wear a tank top. Maybe it's just as simple as that. But I just today I'll show you afterwards, but I have all these tiny little burns on my skin because I just won't wear a damn shirt.
Now, you are a vegetarian.
Yes.
So is this like double for Jordan? You're like, I'll take off my top and I'll make you bacon?
No. So bacon is one of the things that I've been craving so hardcore. Mm-hmm. I craved it throughout my pregnancy. And since I'm still breastfeeding, whenever I crave anything, I'm just eating it, even if I don't want to.
Oh, okay.
And bacon is that one thing right now for me still that I'm like, I gotta have it.
Okay.
So no, it's all for me. It's all selfish. But I'm just like, put on a damn shirt. Have you not learned? I burned myself when I was pregnant while cooking bacon. Mm-hmm. And now I'm doing it again. And I'm just like, all I have to do is wear clothing.
Maybe you need a little fan to keep next to the oven if the bacon's going to get you so hot.
That is a really good idea. I mean, honest to God, there's a lot of different things that I could do to make this easier for myself. But, I just keep being topless while cooking bacon. I guess I have a bra on. Like, let's not get weird. But anyway, another actual dreadful dilemma is that my girls have both had RSV, but they're doing better. And for once, everybody, I know I'm constantly sick, it seems like, having two little ones, but I was the only one in my family that did not get sick this time.
Yeah, she has emerged victorious.
I am so victorious. I don't know if my body is finally just like warrioring.
Warrior.
That's a really great word. I don't know if it existed before today, but my body is warrioring up.
You butchered it.
Just cut that whole thing out. I don't know if my body is just getting stronger or what is going on, but that's great. I'm here and I'm healthy.
Yeah.
Ish.
it makes sense for you to be the one who's good because, you're the caregiver.
Yeah, I'm like, someone has to take care of all these kids, Jordan included.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so this week we are going to be exchanging some killer facts.
Hello? We've traced the facts. They're coming from inside the house.
Killer facts.
We are, and it is your week to go first.
Okay.
Kill me with a fact.
So I didn't know what segment to turn this information into.
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain it once we get there, but I felt like this was a good killer fact just because there's a lot of information here. Now, since it is still football season, and I know that it is one of your favorite times of year because of that reason, it kind of ties into that. And I'm curious if you've heard of this at all.
Okay.
So I'm in love with the show Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders Making the Team. Have you ever watched it?
No, but I'm not surprised that you'd be a fan of it.
Oh, so I love a good reality show. I love a good competition show. And this show has it all. And I like challenge shows that are creative in some way, like Ink Master or like any of the
Cutthroat
body.
Kitchen.
See, I'm not really a huge cooking channel. I like Chopped, I guess. I like Chopped, but I'm more picky with my cooking competitions. But anyway, so this show to me just has it all. And I love a good competition show where it's people doing things that I know I probably couldn't achieve,
Yeah.
Like I danced in high school, but this is another level of talent that all these women have to have. And it's very intriguing and you get to know them on a personal level. And then the judges are, speaking of cutthroat, whoo, they have some high standards over there. But anyway.
And I'm sure there's probably good drama.
There's so much drama and it's so good. God, Trevin, oh my God. So I watched that show a lot growing up, and recently I stumbled upon it again, and it got me thinking about all of the strict rules that NFL cheerleaders have to follow.
Oh, this is going to be nice.
Yes. And so I wanted to do some research, and I stumbled. Again, I'm just stumbling everywhere, stumbling upon this, stumbling upon that. I stumbled upon a lawsuit that was filed in 2014 against the Buffalo Bills. And I was like, I have to talk about this. So,
oh, this is so funny. I'm going to let you go on, but
Okay, so the Buffalo Bills, their cheer team, I don't know if they're actually called the Buffalo Jills or if that's their nickname.
I've never heard that, but that's awful if it is.
Because everything I looked up, some articles were like, oh, the Buffalo Bills cheerleading, but some of them were calling them the Buffalo Jills. And so I don't know. I really don't. But anyway, I'll just call them the Buffalo Jills because you hate it, and that's fun.
Yeah.
So, but two of the former Buffalo Jills cheerleaders sued the Buffalo Bills because they weren't compensated for their work and actually had to pay the organization for their own uniforms, and they made them buy like a shit ton of their own calendars and told them that they had to sell them. It was like
an MLM.
Yeah, it was like a weird MLM. And like they weren't getting paid for all their traveling and games and all this stuff.
But they're just living what they thought was the dream. So they're
Yeah,
paying it. Oh,
yeah.
That sucks.
That's really what the main lawsuit was about. But the most interesting and appalling thing that came out during this lawsuit to me were some of the rules in their 2013 to 2014 rule book that got leaked to the public.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if I wanted to do two truths and a lie or trivia and be like, which one of these rules is actually a thing?
I can see why, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, how should I do this? But I'm just going to read a few of these off to you because, wow. Even the way that they're worded and just all the weird shit they put in here. So here are some of the following rules. Do not use slang in conversations. Never use words or phrases such as like, I seen it, you guys, dude, them guys, pee, and ain't. Why is pee in there, first of all?
Like urinate pee?
Yes.
I guess it wouldn't be like, what up, Master P?
Yeah, but like you can't say you guys. You can't say dude. Like that's just really weird to me. And Like what? Do they just have to say urinate every time?
Tinkle.
Yeah. I just don't know why pee is included in there.
And
Anyway.
who like keeps track of this? Is there somebody that's just like, I didn't write it down. Like, I heard you say it.
It gets weirder. So
Okay.
next one. Bread should be torn to eat and or butter, not cut with a knife. Do not overeat bread at a formal setting.
Nazis.
So it's proper to tear bread? I guess I'm learning new things as we go. I don't know. Here's another one. Intimate areas. Never use a deodorant or chemically enhanced product. Simple, non-deodorant soap will help maintain the right pH balance. Why is that in there?
Again, who's testing this?
Why? Yeah, like, why are we talking about these women's vaginas and how they should clean them? Like, this is weird. Some of this stuff is, like, really, really weird. Okay, I have two more. Do not consume conversations and watch body language. Be aware of female companions and children. Always turn the conversation back to the other person. Never flirt.
Don't make it about you. Don't flirt.
And why are they specifically saying watch out for women and children? And then at the end of it, they're saying don't flirt. Like, what is going on?
These sound like men rules.
They
so hardcore.
Dude, yes. And then this is the last one I'll say. Do not be overly opinionated about anything. Do not complain about anything. Ever hang out with a whiner? It's exhausting and boring. Thoughts on that?
I don't even know. It has like misogyny written all over it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, you look like you might overeat if I see you eat a whole thing of bread, so eat it like a little birdie. And you got to be kind to women and kids because they're less and they can't handle the hard stuff. Don't say guys because you're women, and that'll be kind of hard for me. And don't talk about peeing because that just turns me off.
Yeah, it's like the most specific weird shit I've ever heard. So even though that's not what the lawsuit was about, once that got leaked to the public, the organization was basically done. So
That's good.
The Buffalo Jills basically got canceled back in 2014 when this lawsuit came out. They were also accused of making their cheerleaders participate in a jiggle test before games, which meant that they had to do jumping jacks in front of the coaches, and if any part of their body jiggled that wasn't supposed to, they would be benched for that game. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so creepy. Like, I knew that the NFL cheerleaders, you know, had to do a shit ton of work and didn't get a lot of credit, but these rules blew my mind, Trevin.
Yeah, those are pretty mind-blowing.
It's a happy-ish ending because I believe they got some compensation from the trial.
Well, I would say they're entitled to it.
I say anyone who was a Buffalo Jill, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. And eat as much bread as you want.
Yeah, you're beautiful no matter what kind of bread you eat.
Oh, God. So why is this funny? Do you have a killer fact about football?
I have a killer fact, and it has to do with buffaloes. Which is random.
I did not see that coming.
No, that's what I was thinking when you said that. I was like, oh my God.
We are so weirdly like tied together with what we're thinking sometimes.
I agree. I'm going to read you a grammatically correct sentence,
Okay.
and you're going to just be amazed.
Okay.
Buffalo, 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 buffalo.
Okay. Explain yourself.
That is, in fact, a grammatically correct sentence. If you use the words buffalo as a pronoun, meaning the city,
Oh, okay.
if you use buffalo as the noun for the animal,
Uh-huh.
and then buffalo being the verb, as in like to harass someone, like, oh, I'm really buffaloing me.
I didn't know that was a verb.
Yeah, that sounds weird saying it like that, though. Like they're really,
I really got buffaloed.
yeah.
I've never heard that as a verb in a sentence before, but I believe you.
My friend Tyler brought this up to me, and it ruined my lunch. Because,
Were you eating buffalo?
no, I'm just sitting here like, okay. And I just had to do the math. And then even when it was explained to me, I was like, no,
No.
that's not. But I will explain that it's pronoun, noun, verb, pronoun, noun. So, buffalo's from buffalo. that other buffaloes from buffaloes, is like how you would say that if you added all the pieces in. I'm going to give you a different pronoun-noun combination.
Okay.
So I'm going to say dumb people that dumb people punch dumb people.
Oh.
But you see, it's not incorrect grammatically to take the that out. So if I were to say like dumb people that dumb people punch, you could also just say dumb people punch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't say that. I like to use that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's saying...
Who came up with this? I hate them.
I hate them too, and it kills me. So it's technically like saying dumb people punch, except it's buffalo. They also buffaloes from buffalo. So it's
oh my God.
buffalo.
Oh God. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's real. It works. And
have you tried to prove it wrong all day once since you heard that?
Well, I knew it worked, but I just couldn't say it in my head. And it's just because naturally as a speaker, I always put the that in there.
Yeah.
Buffalo,
so you
buffalo,
really,
that buffalo, you know, but
like you don't have to say that?
No. So you could just say people that people don't like, but you could just say people don't like.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So
That's
technically how this works. Buffalo.
Oh God.
It's nutty.
Whoever came up with this, are you obsessed with buffaloes? And why do you have so much time on your hands?
Apparently it was discussed in literature in various forms since 1967 when it appeared in Dmitri Borgman's Beyond Language, Adventures in Word and Thought. And boy, wasn't that an adventure.
That was quite the adventure. And now, I don't know, I just feel like I'm never going to look at a buffalo the same.
I don't know how many times I've had to say it out loud in my head before talking to you about it. It's a mess.
Yeah, but the more that you're talking about it, honestly, the more I'm understanding it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we were to say Kansas City people, but they're the same.
So you would be saying Kansas City people, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Those people, Buffalo, Kansas City people.
That is so, oh my God.
But if I was going to say that sentence, I would say Kansas City people, that Kansas City people, Buffalo.
Yeah.
It's like that. Weird. It's weird. It makes me kind of uncomfortable.
I think that your killer fact today is going to turn someone into a killer because it's going to drive them so insane.
Yeah, I wondered, it probably doesn't translate real well on the audio medium. But I tried to explain this out as well as I can. We'll have a picture breaking it down on our episode post.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, it's very difficult and it just makes my head spin. And I was slowly going crazy at my table by myself today.
Trevin, so far, your dreadful dilemma and your killer fact have both been sending you into tailspins. So I hope you're okay, my dude.
Hey, it's Monday.
It is a Monday. You used the excuse that it was Friday last time we recorded.
Last week, everything was sexual, and I said, hey, it's Friday, and now everything's dreadful, and it's a Monday. So
we're spiraling on a Monday. We're sexing it up on a Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Catch me on a Wednesday and see what it's like.
It's probably getting weird. Oh, my God. So are we on to stories, Trevin?
I think we are.
I just had to do one of those again for old time's sake. So I'm first this week, correct?
Correct.
So this week, I am telling a story from the news that is very current, happening just a mere days ago.
Exciting.
And it is a news story that my husband, Jordan, recommended to me. Even though he doesn't listen to our show, I just have to give him a shout out because it's funny. He's like a big Reddit guy. Mm-hmm. And anytime he sees anything fascinating, which really he doesn't give me my news stories ever. But when he sends me a recommendation, I'm like, I better take a look at this because he wouldn't send it to me if he didn't think it was good.
If I used Reddit more, I'd probably be able to find a lot more too.
Yeah, I know. I just can't. I can't handle one more thing I need to check, you know?
I can't handle one more thing either.
I know. I don't want to look at any more social medias. Okay. All right. So here we go. A petty criminal is only as good as their weapon of choice. In the past, we have told stories about spark plugs being used as destructive ammunition, hot soup replacing mace, and even cat turds turning into atomic stink bombs. While some tools are more user-friendly than others, it is always fascinating to see which one a small-time lawbreaker will choose. Today's crime that I'll be dramatizing involves an extremely unusual weapon of choice, one that is sure to leave you buzzing. Rory Woods was a 55-year-old woman living out the latter half of her life in Hadley, Massachusetts. She was a peculiar yet confident woman with graying hair and a permanent smirk on her face. Rory never understood why it was so difficult for her to make new friends or to keep lovers. In conversations and on her online profiles, she was always very open about her two passions in life, which were being angry and bees. Not only was Rory a professional beekeeper, but she loved everything about bees. She included honey in every meal she ate, only wore the colors yellow and black, and always moisturized her lips with Burt's Bees chapstick. Even though she loved working with bees, her favorite emotion continued to be anger. She found peace while yelling at her television,
Not another commercial.
and honking her car horn at innocent pedestrians. It kept her feeling young. Beyond the time spent with her bees, Rory desperately wanted to find her own hive of like-minded and angry people. So she went to the one place she knew she could find it: Facebook. Scrolling through different groups, she found a local anti-eviction protest group. Although she didn't know much about evictions, protesting sounded like an activity she would thoroughly enjoy.
I'm angry as hell.
Rory knew this wouldn't be an easy group to penetrate, but she had something that guaranteed to make her the new queen bee. The latest group posting was about an upcoming eviction happening in a nearby town called Longmeadow. This was the perfect opportunity for Rory to make her mark on this new group of prospective friends. On October 12th, 2022, the day of the eviction came. Rory gathered up all of her protesting equipment and loaded it onto a trailer attached to her SUV. As she drove, she nervously tapped her steering wheel and spoke to herself reassuringly. "You've just gotta be yourself, Rory. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee." She pulled up to the eviction house on Memory Lane to find the yard already full of protesters with their signs. They were chanting in unison and marching in circles. And multiple police cruisers were pulling up to the residence. What are those pathetic and flimsy signs going to do? Rory thought to herself. Now is my moment. She quickly exited her SUV and walked over towards the trailer she was pulling behind. That is when Rory looked proudly at what she had hauled with her. Crates upon crates of buzzing bees. As soon as Rory pulled up to the house, an officer began approaching her to see what she was carrying on the trailer. She had to act fast before he stopped her. Rory lifted off a large wooden lid from one of her bee crates, allowing a swarm of angry bees to be released into the tense air. The approaching officer scuffled with Rory while trying to close the crate's lid, but ultimately caused more chaos by knocking over and opening other crates of bees in the process. A couple bees began to sting the officer before he successfully placed the lid back onto the crate. Rory ran back to her SUV and slipped on her full protective beekeeper's outfit to prepare for round 2 of her sting operation. Other officers and bystanders had approached the SUV to see what was going on and were surprised by the flock of rage-filled insects.
Our weapons are useless against them.
Rory, now in her beekeeper's suit, lifted up another crate of bees and began carrying it to the front porch of the eviction house. An officer warned Rory, stating, "Ma'am, some of us officers are allergic to bees." Rory responded from underneath her protective hood, "Oh, you're allergic? Good." Officers surrounded Rory before she could open the next crate and handcuffed her. Unfortunately for Rory, there was no bee suit that could protect her from the law. She was arrested and is facing multiple charges, including 4 counts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and disorderly conduct. Only one officer went to the hospital after he experienced an increased heart rate due to the bees, but was released later that same day. Luckily, no one was seriously injured from the incident. Chief Deputy Robert Hoffman was quoted saying, "Never in all my years of leading the Hampton County Sheriff's Civil Process Division have I seen something like this. I'm just thankful no one died because bee allergies are serious. I hope that these out-of-county protesters will reconsider using such extreme measures in the future, because they will be charged and prosecuted." To all of you petty criminals listening, beware. And remember that weapons are never a good idea. For cat turds are meant to stay in the litter box. Hot soup is to be cautiously ingested. Spark plugs are there to do whatever the hell spark plugs do. And bees are meant to be treasured and saved. The petty crimes committed today will only come back to bite you tomorrow.
Save the bees.
Save the damn bees, Rory.
You know, I actually skimmed the story over the weekend when I was just kind of looking different crimes up.
Okay,
Did
so
not
you
realize
did.
it was recent.
Yeah, it happened, what did I say, October 12th of this year, I think it was.
Dang.
Yeah, it was really recent, which when I first read it, I was like, how am I going to make this funny? But then I was like, well, no one really got hurt. And also, don't get me wrong. When people are allergic to bees, it is not a joke. Like, I
Right.
don't think what she did was funny at all.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stories we tell, though, we really don't think what they did was funny. They're just ridiculous, wild crimes. But the fact that they said one officer had to go to the hospital because he had an increased heart rate was a little bit funny to me. I'm not going to lie. But I don't know if he was just scared or what was going on, because I don't think he was one of them that got stung. Like, I think he was just scared.
Oh,
I don't
afraid.
know. But from how it read, it didn't sound like he was stung. So I was like, okay, maybe he's just really terrified of bees, which I get it. I am terrified of wasps more than bees.
I wouldn't mess with a whole swarm of bees. I'd be so scared.
God, no. So obviously, I had to make up why Rory did what she did. I was trying to think of a reason. Maybe she was trying to impress her new protester friends. I don't know. And then also the whole eviction thing was kind of confusing and complicated. It was like a $1.9 million home that a man was being evicted out of, which I also think that eviction isn't funny at all. And I get why people peacefully protest those kinds of things.
Doesn't sound peaceful if you're bringing bees.
Exactly. And that's kind of where it all turned. Protest away. And even the cops were like, we're totally fine with people protesting. Yeah, we're just doing our job that we are being told to evict this person. We don't like to, but apparently where this took place too, they're like really, and I don't know this area at all, but they were saying, oh, we actually have like a really good outreach program for anyone. Like we give them a really big heads up before we evict them, and we try and give them all these resources. Who knows if that's actually true? Clearly people are upset enough to be protesting. So I'm going
Right.
to take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, Rory came from out of town with her bees, got arrested in a full beekeeper suit and all.
That is crazy. So you don't really know why she did it, but so she went to an eviction thing and just happened to bring all her bee stuff with her?
Yeah, she planned to bring them.
She's like a Batman villain.
Yeah, yeah. So all I know that is true is obviously everything about the crime itself. Even the way that I described it, where she went to the back to open a crate, the officer tried to stop her, and when they were trying to fight each other to put the lid back on, more crates fell over and bees escaped. It stung a couple of the other protesters and a couple of police officers. She really was quoted in saying, "Oh, you're allergic, good." Now, the maniacal laugh, I added, but who knows? She could have laughed like that. I don't know.
She's a villain to me.
And then she did go and put on a full beekeeper suit. Like every single step by step of the crime itself was true. I just don't know why she did that, obviously, or
Right.
like how she got involved in this group. I know she is from a different town and she was just showing up to protest with these people. And it's a huge trailer, like a flatbed trailer stacked with crates of bees that she brought, like stacks and stacks of crates.
You must not love your bees that much either to take them and weaponize them knowing you're going to lose a good chunk of them.
Oh, 100%. There were even articles saying that she was like trying to get them agitated and like she wanted to upset them. And I'm like, you are a beekeeper.
Yeah.
What?
Not keeping them very well.
Yeah, you're literally doing the opposite of your job. You are not keeping the bees.
Damn, like she really is a Batman villain. She's got like the beekeeper suit and she's got her own bee mobile she pulls up in.
Yeah. I thought about saying that she had a personalized license plate that said Queen Bee on it or something. I didn't go that far. I did throw in the Burt's Bees chapstick thing just for some flair, but
You also said penetrate at one point.
yeah, I said sting operation, which that was a quote that most of the articles were using, like that corny, ooh, a typical normal eviction turned to a literal sting operation and blah, blah, blah. And people are just going crazy
Corny
about that.
news media and their
I
writing.
know. I'm like, well, it's perfect for what we do. So
It is. Yeah, that reminded me of classic Amanda stories where you're building up to it by using very related sort of punny stuff getting up to it. Yeah, the second you said we'll leave you buzzing, I was like, I wonder if it's that bee story.
oh, dude. Yeah. I was like, is he going to think that the weapon of choice is like a vibrator or something?
I want to do that story too.
I know. I was like, damn, that would be a really good story for our show. But no, it's bees.
I'm glad you did that story because I didn't actually read the article. I just read the headline and just saved it for later.
Yeah.
Because I thought that'll be fun with sound effects.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, yeah. You're going to have a lot of bee sound effects. So,
I think I just have one, but I can work with it.
okay.
I
Good.
can do different manipulation things. to
Good.
it. Well, I loved that and a lot of weird things, but it's just so bizarre. It's got to be a story. I mean, come on.
It had to be on our show. As much as I hate that she's using her beloved bees as a weapon, it was just bizarre. And so I had to do it. So, Trevin, you got a story for me?
I've got a story.
Okay.
And it may just leave you questioning what's possible.
Mm,
I think we'll stick with just that and we'll leave afterwards for the discussion.
sounds good.
And here we go. Do you believe in magic? In a young girl's heart? How the music can free her whenever it starts? Okay, let's be real. This is a very serious and dreadful podcast. I can't be starting a truly horrific story with the lyrics of The Lovin' Spoonful. But since we are on the subject of magic, let that intro be your first lesson in Trevin's class of Defense Against the Dark Arts. What I did there is called misdirection. Misdirection is a form of deception in which the performer draws audience's attention to one thing
Look over there.
to distract it from another.
Oh, how did this cow get here?
You thought I was going to dramatically recite The Lovin' Spoonful, but really, I was just setting you up to transition into this truly enchanting tale. No more tricks from your narrator going forward. So, do you believe in magic? In our culture, magic can be found anywhere, in many different forms. There's the weird guys that you come across on Tinder who lists magic tricks as his hobby. The Harry Potter superfans who have been obsessed since the first movie came out in 2001,
Wingardium Leviosa.
or the strange girl who once approached me in a Walmart line to let me know that the only real magic is magic when it's spelt with a K.
Okay, weirdo.
I'm sure there are even more forms of magic that you all can think of than just what I named. Sometimes love is magic, or the reaction when two different elements combine. Yes, that is technically science, but the fact that scientists can separate and spring about these elemental changes are pretty damn magical. For me, I personally think of all of us as magical beings. Not like dwarfs or trolls from some fantasy series that everyone seems to like, even though admitting to liking these things in the 90s would have made you a nerd. But how we achieve great things with our minds is magic. Technically, the fact that we have conscious thought is magic enough for me. But I mean, more on a physiological level. Sometimes the power of belief in ourselves can lead us to achieve amazing things, or pushing through mental barriers can yield great results.
I will go to work.
I find that pretty magical. To think that we are all born with brains, and those very brains are the things that limit what we can do is wild to me. If you can get around the trauma of your past, the limiting words of your culture, or just the damaging self-talk that you put yourself through on a daily basis, you can probably have a lot of the things you want for yourself. That kind of self-success is magic, all on its own. Of course, there is only one other magic I believe in, and that's when Taylor Swift sings. My God. Even if her lyrics are damaging towards whatever man wronged her, they are beautiful soliloquies that pierce through my mortal form and cast a spell on my soul. Sing out your deepest thoughts, you beautiful blonde goddess. Anyway, the story I'm about to tell is about magic, or some shit. After using the preamble to build up this story, I realized that no magic compares to Taylor. So I'm kind of losing the dramatical point I was trying to make. Our story opens on Rayleigh, a Walmart cashier of 1 year, clocking in for her 2 p.m. shift. For Rayleigh, with just 1 year of experience under her off-brand belt, she had seen a lot of things. Of course, she hadn't seen everything the Walmart crowd has to offer, but trust me, working just one 40-hour work week at Walmart will show you a lot of the human side of life that you didn't know existed. She had seen the mid-afternoon drunk crowd,
I need snacks.
topless shoplifters, and even a lady who could clearly see trying to come in with a seeing eye squirrel. It was an exciting and thankless job. Not only that, Rayleigh had to be on her toes at all times and be prepared to tap into her instincts at a moment's notice. When you're a Walmart cashier, you never know when you need to throw your money handling training to the side and turn into a bouncer in order to protect your local superstore. Because of the wide array of foes that her store may encounter, there was a special monthly training meeting set aside to discuss the criminal underbelly of the Walmart shopping experience. This gathering was made to head off rumors and make sure the staff was prepared for anything. There were no debates on whether K-cups belong in the breakfast aisle or the drink aisle here. These were the real nitty-gritty, hide your kids and double lock your door problems. This was Walmart After Dark. As Rayleigh completed her pre-shift stretches, she logged into her register and flipped the sign to her lane on. She slowly wiped her hand across her frowned lips, only to change it into a big, fake customer service smile. Hey there, did you find everything okay? Rayleigh asked, as she began to ring up her first customer. She rang up the customer's items while daydreaming about the leftover cheesecake she had in her fridge at home. Just 7 hours and 55 minutes more, she thought to herself. As she closed the register and handed the customer their change, that's when she heard the radio in her pocket go off.
We have a code 69. All cashiers report to the break room for an emergency after dark meeting.
Rayleigh gasped and almost collapsed on the floor. A code 69 didn't really mean anything, They just made it up because they knew the number would get workers' attention and know the situation was dire. She quickly flipped her lane light off and ran towards the back. The mother who just finished emptying her entire cart on the conveyor belt cried as she began to reload her cart and find a new register.
I fucking hate this place.
Low, audible mutters filled the room as all of the cashiers wondered what could be such a big deal that an emergency after-dark meeting would be called in the late afternoon. Ted, the manager, stepped up to the break room podium and addressed the curious crowd. You're probably wondering why I gathered you all here today on this most busy of afternoon rushes. It is with a heavy heart that I let you know that there's a magician on the loose. The crowd began to talk amongst themselves loudly. Please, please. Our sister store in the next town over has reported that they have been swindled out of $1,000 by a practitioner of the dark arts. Unfortunately, investigations are still underway, and I do not have any information at this time. As this is magic, and this kind of training hasn't been available since my great-great ancestors managed the first Ye Walder Mart Castle superstore, I am going completely away from the training manual for this one. Ted quickly turned on his training projector and showed the group a picture of Chris Angel and Gandalf the Grey from Lord of the Rings. If you see any men come up to your register looking like either of these two men, pretend there is a register problem and call me or your direct supervisor over for assistance. I know we aren't supposed to discriminate based on looks, but for the time being, do not serve any wizards or goth people who look like they know magic tricks. Good luck, and Godspeed. As the cashiers were dismissed to go back to their respective registers, a look of shock and curiosity was on their faces. Marty at Register 1 was a bit of a magician himself and secretly wanted to ask the criminal for pointers, while Justine at Register 5 wanted to be on her best behavior so she didn't get turned into a frog or something. Rayleigh, on the other hand, was still thinking about that cheesecake. She walked back to her register, greeted by a line of angry customers who were just waiting for her to get back from her meeting.
It's about damn time!
Promptly, she rang them up and continued her shift, as she normally would. At the halfway point of their shift, Marty and Justine exchanged the hand signal for all clear, as Rayleigh soon returned the gesture. Looks like nothing weird is going to happen to keep me from my cheesecake, Rayleigh said to herself. She began to ring up the next customer's items while thinking about that delicious cheesecake. A deck of cards, rabbit food, top hat, an assorted pack of long technicolored handkerchiefs. Each time the register beeped, she just imagined a different Oreo crumble going into her mouth, or a slice of cold cream cheese being cut with her fork. Did I mention it was Oreo cheesecake? Yeah, now this makes a little more sense. After handing the customer his change, she went to make sure that all of his products were bagged in an efficient manner. Excuse me, the man said. This change isn't right. I gave you a $100 bill, and you only gave me $7.55. It should have been $47.55. Rayleigh felt a little embarrassed at her mistake. The cheesecake on the brain was really keeping her from paying attention. She opened up the register and gave the man his additional $40. There you go. Sorry about that, Rayleigh said. It's an honest mistake, the guy kindly replied. Rayleigh got back to gathering the man's bags when she was interrupted by him again. What? The man shouted. You only gave me a 20. You owed me 40. Oh, geez, Rayleigh said, while handing him another $20 bill. I'm going to be honest. I've been thinking about cheesecake. The man giggled to himself. I hope you get that cheesecake soon. Well, see you later, he said as he grabbed his bags and left. At the end of the night, Rayleigh, Marty, and Justine counted down their drawers. One by one, each employee would come up short and have a similar peculiar encounter as to why they may be short on money. A normal dude in joggers came in and I accidentally shortchanged him, Marty said Justine and Rayleigh said almost the exact same thing to their manager. "You fools!" shouted Manager Ted. "This was the oldest trick in the Book of Magic. You were duped by a sleight of hand." The crowd of employees couldn't believe their ears. Ted quickly went back to the security tapes and found each encounter that his employee had with the very informal sorcerer. In the early months of 2022, 2 Walmarts in Seguin, Texas, were hit with a slew of swindlings, all performed by magic. The police reports state that the man used a technique called quick changed, where a performer quickly pockets part of their change and then claims to be shortchanged. Altogether, the man was able to steal around $2,700 throughout all of his encounters. Although the social media posts, along with clear photos of the man, gained national attention, the man was never apprehended for his crimes. In fact, the social media posts helped other police departments in Georgia, Tennessee, Rhode Island, South Carolina, and Virginia connect other robberies by the same magician, making him the serial sorcerer. So keep an eye out, and remember that not all who know magic have to look like Criss Angel or the 1980s version of the Cookie Crisp mascot. Sometimes they look like average white guys who wear activewear for shopping. Don't let these white men fool you. So check your change twice and trust your ability to count, because you don't want to be an expensive victim to a conjurer of cheap tricks.
I loved Manager Ted's voice so much.
Please.
Like, it almost sounded like you were crying at one point. Now I just want cheesecake. And also, have I told you that I met Criss Angel before?
No.
Well, it was at one of his magic shows in Las Vegas. I guess I didn't talk to him, but he gave me a high five. He went by the aisle and I put my hand out and he touched me.
He probably saw your whole past when he touched you.
He did. I think he just knew me as a person and it bonded us forever. Wow, though. Okay, so truly, they have connected this guy to that many states, though?
Yeah, I made up all of the characters. I made up the way that he swindled her. But apparently that's about how it worked. He just would go to different registers in these two reported Texas towns and would swindle bits and pieces here and there until he had made about $2,700. But yes, that was true that they were able to connect him to all these other ones.
Wow.
But there was no manager who thought maybe Gandalf was coming and robbing them.
And he didn't purchase rabbit food in a top hat?
Yeah. I realized when I was telling that, like, I was starting to break character because I was just like, this is so stupid.
That was my favorite part. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But hey, that's how we do things.
As soon as you started ringing those items up in your story, I was like, oh shit.
A magician.
He's here. Oh my God. Well, that is crazy though. I feel like if I was a kid working at a store, or even an adult, I don't know why I said kid. If I was a person working at a store, and I'm sure there are tons of other things those people wish they were doing.
Yes.
And someone was really genuine and was a really good actor, or con person or whatever. And they were like, my apologies, you meant to give me this, but you gave me this, you know? I would probably fall for that. I mean, well, and also I'm bad at math too. So that would probably, I'd be an easy target.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. When I started working where I work, I have to kind of check on things that mechanics do and sort of bunch it together in like a smart, well-worded way. And sometimes the mechanics will do things wrong, and I don't know jack shit about working on vehicles or anything. So back in the day, before I got the position I have now, I would have to call them and say, is this right? And they're like, of course it's right. What are you going to tell me I'm wrong? I turn a wrench all the day. I'm like, ooh, you're right. I mean, I'm just an idiot at a computer, so I'll trust you. And then I find out that I'm wrong, and they're like, no, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It's the same thing as when I was younger and I worked at a gas station. If an adult says, hey, you counted this wrong, it's like, I'm young and I'm not very confident.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times when I worked in the convenience store world there would just be like a pissy customer who, if he can just get a little bit louder and a little more confident, he's going to eventually be able to break somebody younger to be like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different because it's the sleight of hand thing, but it's really easy to get somebody if they just don't seem that confident.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh no, you screwed up. And it just makes them feel bad too.
Oh, absolutely. And as we saw during the pandemic, a lot of these workers aren't getting the respect or the pay that they deserve. So yeah, if someone's like, hey, I was supposed to get this, unless you're just like really motivated and really on your game and all these things, I think a lot of them would just be like, what the hell here, you know? To them, it's just like, what am I even here for anyway, you know?
Yeah, it's just a jab.
I know. So that's honestly, as shitty as it is, it's kind of a brilliant thing. So was it true that he did it to multiple people at that same store?
I believe he had to, because they said between
Yeah.
the two stores it was $2,700, and I just can't imagine you
Yeah.
can shortchange one register. Let's just say two registers,
Yeah.
one in each. There's no way you're making $1,300 each or whatever.
That's a good point. Like maybe in real life it was throughout multiple days.
Probably within multiple days, yeah.
But still, yeah, it would have had to be multiple trips. It's not like, you actually shortchanged me $500.
Like, sir, you bought a pack of gum, but I paid you with $1,000 bill. Come on. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I thought when you first said the thing about money, I was like, is this another counterfeit situation?
No.
But no, it's a different way of scamming people with cash, cold hard cash.
Yeah, just kind of psychologically tricking and using quick hand motions and probably misdirection as well.
I wonder if he's good looking. Do you really
There are
get a
pictures
good
online.
picture of him?
So
or-
it's early 2022. I can't remember if any of them straight up showed his face. I think he had a face mask on, but he just looked like a normal, unimpressive dude wearing joggers and a hoodie. Kind of like if I walked into Walmart. Just
those unimpressive dudes, they'll get to you.
yeah, we blend in pretty well.
I wonder how his blood is for donating plasma.
Shit, he probably gets in every time.
They're like, actually, sir, you are low on whatever the hell. And he like does a little swoop, like he swaps out paperwork really quickly. He's like, what? No, I'm not. And they're like,
So you said you were going to let me donate? And they're like, you're right, I
they're
was.
like, yeah, I was. That's really weird. How did this happen?
I didn't think I was, but I guess I am. Come on in, sir.
Wow. We could learn a lot from this man.
But yeah, I mean, he still hasn't been caught. Usually there's a lot more I can add to end of stories because usually they're solved.
Yeah,
And
you
this one
really
wasn't.
don't do a lot of unsolved ones. I feel like I've done way more of those than you.
Yeah.
So we all need to be on the lookout for this magician then.
Yeah, this white, unimpressive magician.
He could be any of them. Any of the guys we see walking down the road.
So true.
Okay, well, do you have any connections? Because honest to goodness, I am not coming up with anything. I really thought long and hard about a lot of details.
Yeah, I mean, mine was unsolved. Yours was solved. Yours was a public thing with bees. Mine was kind of picking people apart.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the only thing, I guess, is that mine had to do with protesting the eviction and yours was protesting the amount of change he got back. But that is a real stretch.
Oh boy, I think I pulled a muscle stretching on that one.
Maybe you need to drink some more water, Trevin.
You're probably right.
I'm sorry, I'm giving you so much shit about that.
I think we'll see if anybody can think of one for us. And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm just proud of the Buffalo connection and our facts.
I am too. You're so right. We connected enough on this episode, okay?
Yeah.
Well, everyone, I hope you're having a great week. And remember, no matter the crime, big or small, in the end, we're all doomed.
Doomed in Buffalo, 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 Buffalo.
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 Hey, thanks for putting down your torn little pieces of bread and listening to our podcast today.
And feel free to take off your shirt, cook some bacon, and then scroll through all of our social media posts. Sometimes you get to see our charming faces. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Live, laugh, larceny.
And if you have any information on that magician's whereabouts, Just kidding. But really, if you do, send us an email to livelaughlarceny@gmail.com.
And give us 5-star reviews on Apple, Spotify, or Good Pods, because I'm tired of getting bad reviews on my blood quality.
Today's crime that I'll be dramatizing. Dramatizing?
I would say dramatizing, but I've never been a drama person.
Okay. Today's crime that I'll be dramatizing. Did we just say no drama?
I say drama.
Okay.
You might be able to get away with either.
Okay.